set down the vigilance, pick up curiosity and trust. This single visualization tore down my Tower to Vigilance this month. It sparked an entire month-long witchy practice and one mundane technique, which I'm excited to show you. My tarot card of the year is the Tower. This year, I'm tearing down a personal tower every month, and this month it was my Tower to Vigilance. If you want to know more about how I approach my card of the year, I'll put some links below, but let's get into this month. This month's Tower was really personal. And so I want to share a little bit about what I mean by vigilance and this Tower to Vigilance before I go into how I went about tearing it down. And I've got some notes here because I felt like I was on sort of a, I don't know, like a treasure hunt during the month to figure out how it was showing up for me. So one way is it just feels like I have to pretend to be happy and energetic and like I'm having fun all the time. If I'm not like showing all that emotion, if I'm not showing all that happiness, then I just don't like how people ask me if I'm okay. I've spent my whole life kind of going overboard with it. And that to me feels like vigilance, like constantly watching other people's responses to me. It's not healthy. It's also perfectionism, like around my behaviors and my choices. So the idea that if I make the right choice, then everything will fall into place and everything will be okay. That there is a bad choice and that if I choose that one, my life is going to fall apart. So it keeps me on this like high alert, like it's very extremist thinking. And so the state of vigilance, this tower that I need to take down, is about remembering that there are probably lots of good choices and I'm only ever just doing the best I can. It's also like a life of performance instead of authenticity. And I have been working on authenticity, oh gosh, for years now. And this sense around the choices and the like needing to be happy and like energized all the time, it's almost like connected to this sense that I need to perform Nancy instead of just be Nancy. If I sort of show my true self, then something will happen, something bad will happen. Like I'll lose friendships or, I will disappoint somebody or, I mean, gosh, even that I would lose a job, which I know that sounds maybe extreme, but based on the jobs I've had in my life, I spent a lot of years teaching and there is a lot of scrutiny around teachers. And so I was ready to take that on and I took it on, even if I didn't need to. And then I've had a hard time shedding it. I truly think that this is an attempt to control my surroundings. It's like feeding into the illusion that I have control, that if I'm happy, then that controls how other people act and the environment will be nice. If I make the exact right decision, that controls the outcome and then my life will be nice. And this is deeply connected to my childhood and something that I really have worked on a lot with therapists and then with my tarot and with my witchy stuff. Really trying to work this out in myself, but it's amazing how pervasive these things are. And it does mean that I'm really on high alert a lot, and I don't need to be. Like I'm a grown-up here, and I've built a really very nice life for myself where I don't need to be on high alert like this. I want to share something I wrote in my journal about this. Vigilance is a maladaptive attempt to be safe. Trust and curiosity are opportunities to bloom. There can be no intentional transformation when I hold so tightly to vigilance. But if I fill my hands with curiosity and trust, I can transform easily. This idea of setting down vigilance, like if I'm holding vigilance, I can't pick up anything else. And so I need to set it down. I can't just drop things. We've got to sort of fill in with something else to do. So what can my hands hold? They can hold curiosity and trust, which comes from my monthly reading. Some lessons from my monthly reading as a way to move forward. And so based on that visualization of like letting go of the vigilance and holding curiosity and trust, I developed some witchy rituals and tools to help me with this month. And they were unbelievably helpful. So let me show them to you. I really like making pocket altars, and I have a pocket altar to self-love. And so I made a very quick little alteration where I pinned curiosity and trust, and then I have a little vigilance that I can take out and remove from it. I did a similar thing with my poppet that I have consecrated as me. I love working with poppets. It's an extremely powerful way to work. And I just added curiosity and trust in the hands of my poppet. And I've been moving that poppet back and forth between my healing spell, my self-love spell, and my self-love pocket altar. So my poppet has been surrounded by these things, and I've been working on these things all month while it holds curiosity and trust. And I kept this stone in my pocket the whole month, and I used it as a vessel so it could absorb vigilance. And then before bed, I would just set it out on a piece of satin spar, selenite, set it on there to cleanse. So I could kind of, when the vigilance was coming up, I could collect it, put it into the stone, and then at the end of the night, cleanse it away. I also used my rosaries with my boundaries and my words of power. I actually developed an entire set of boundaries to help me stop the vigilance. And then I would read those boundaries as though they were prayers while I went through my rosary. It was incredibly meditative practice and really helped to settle my nervous system. And when I felt that vigilance coming up, I had a tool I could go to put that energy elsewhere. At the beginning of every month when I do my monthly reading, I pick out crystals to use. I used charoite to reduce fear. I used my moldavite for change, my malachite for change, and smoky quartz for grounding. I made almost daily use of smoky quartz. And then another favorite thing of mine to do is to hold selenite in my receiving hand and black tourmaline in my sending hand, and visualize the selenite moving through my body and breaking up these bad habits. And then again, sort of using the black tourmaline as a vessel to hold them and cleanse them away. After this month, I feel so much calmer. I feel so much more in my body. I feel so much more comfortable. I feel so much more aware in not in a vigilant way, but in a truly grounded, understanding way. All the witchy things I did were a huge help, but I also made one really practical, mundane change that wasn't actually for the purpose of breaking up my vigilance, but turned out to be perfect for it. And that change is that I started using Pomodoros. You've probably heard of Pomodoros. I've done them off and on in my life and I love them, but just a real quick explanation. Basically, you set yourself a 20 to 30 minute timer, and during that time, you work on your task at hand and just really focus, knowing that a break is coming. So you can, for me anyway, it really helps me focus my mind and my action and my energy. And then I set a 5 or 10 minute timer, which is rest. So walking away from the desk, getting my eyes off a screen, which has been wonderful for my chronic eye strain issues. So I honestly started doing them because I was struggling to focus at work and to get my work done. I think it's more like a happy side effect that I realized it was going to cut away the vigilance as well. I have a tendency to sort of constantly think I should be doing something else no matter what I'm actually doing and whether I really should be doing that thing or not. It's the vigilance, this sense that maybe I shouldn't be doing this. It's a lot of shoulds. Setting those Pomodoros helped me focus. Like, I chose to do what I set out to do for those 20 or 30 minutes. It allowed me to accept that whatever it was I was doing was the right thing to be doing. I feel like after this month, I have some really great tools that I can use when vigilance comes up, and I have some great tools I can use to sort of keep it at bay. I do a new monthly reading on the first day of each month, and that reading will tell me what my next tower is. And I'm really excited to see what May's tower is and how I can go about tearing it down. Let me know if you use your card of the year like this, what your card is. I'd love to know. And maybe if you've seen some changes so far this year while you work with your card. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe for more tarot content, and thanks for stopping by.